Good morning, everyone. This time we are right on time. Welcome to the live stream where we first review the watch list and then we trade the market open every day. I hope everyone had a just somewhat okay Monday. I mean, that Monday was absolutely crazy. We haven't had a halt like that. I think I read in 2001, since 2001. So that was a crazy market-wide halt. Today is Tuesday, the 10th of March, and it's 9:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Which means we got another 14 minutes till the market opens at 9:30. We'll wrap up trading usually between 10:30 and 11 typically. So typically the stream is about 90 minutes long. Check the video description for some FAQs below, some really good stuff down there, and stuff you guys ask me as well all the time, and I see in the comments. Let's get to the watch list. Oh, look who it is. Heiko, good morning. Right on time. Yeah, really, really nice. Something else that's a little crazy today is since I didn't trade yesterday and I alternate this small account, so it's a 6K account now, and I do about 4 times account allocation. So I'll do $1,500 position sizes. I'll do 2 of those, let's say on Monday, and then Tuesday I do another 2, and then Wednesday I get them back. So since we didn't trade Monday, I could make 6 trades today. I won't do it because I want to be able to trade tomorrow, but it's the first time I've ever had all of my buying power. And the reason it shows 4,900 instead of 6,000 is because I had this AIM limit order here in case we broke 4 and went into the 375 area. Big support, big intraday and multi-day support zone in this area. So I was like, if we dip down there, I wouldn't mind getting a little bit of limit order. I didn't do my full position size allocation because I would want to have at least 2 trades after the market opens. So I only allocated $1,000 to that trade. What's up, Shane, Shark, Dreambox? Good morning, and Paul, Keith. Good to have you guys all back. This morning was a little bit tricky. I ran the scanner and it was kind of hard to figure out, what I would want to be trading pre-market. There was like 77 or 37 stocks on our scanner, which is kind of on the high side. Typically, I like it when it's around 20. That's when I know there's going to be probably a really nice 1 or 2 lead gappers. Every time I feel like it's over 30 getting to the 50 territory, that's when I know, okay, this is going to be a kind of a wild day. And that's when I checked the SPY, and I noticed the SPY was, whoa, that was quite the update, was about 6% up pre-market. A little flash crash right here. So we pulled back all the way to 270, and then we ran up here. This was about a 7% run up, and then we pulled back. Now we're kind of in the 5.4 area. So the market's going to open very, very green today. Well, I don't know if it's going to hold the ties, but it's going to be a really, really interesting open for sure. AYTU from Keith, 250% pre-market on coronavirus news. I'll definitely check that out. Heiko, you're partially delayed data by 20 minutes. That's very unusual. That might be internet connection issues. I would definitely check your internet. Maybe a computer refresh. Computer refreshes are always good. Yeah, I saw Kala on the gap scanner, and it was one of the top ones that kind of actually popped up. So let's go ahead and just go through the scanner and talk about what I was looking at. You know what? I think, let's see. Yeah, it's still here. It's the 3rd one from the top. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and detach this. I'm going to move it over to my other screen so it's ready to go for the aftermarket open scanner. So let me go ahead and adjust this load scan query personal aftermarket opens. And if you guys want any of these scanners, they're all in the video description below. You could just import them right into your TOS. Perfect. This shouldn't show up any stocks yet, but I'll go ahead and put this over here. Let's go back to the charts. We got another 20 minutes till the market opens, so no rush. AYTU, I'll definitely go ahead and check that one out. Yeah, a lot of gap fills, a lot of support line bounces. Guten Morgen auch, Estimator. That's a funny name. NVAX was looking pretty good. It's been a runner many days. We've traded it before. You can see on this first big green day, nice breakout here from $7.47 to $8. We traded this one, kind of consolidated, had another big runner. I kind of feel like personally we're on the backside of NVAX, on the backside of the big move to the upside, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to be wanting to trade it. It probably does have a bit more upside potential, but at the moment it's a bit larger of a company, and typically it doesn't really fit our category, so I kind of just went along here. But big mover yesterday. And MTDR, not really interesting. Now here we go, KALA. And let me just quickly see here. This one you can see here on my watch list. We got this was traded pretty heavily yesterday. Had a really aggressive pullback, and then around 11 o'clock it kind of consolidated and then eventually ran up higher here. 292 million market cap, 36 million shares outstanding, and the float is also about 36 million. So a little bit on the high side. Usually with the float, we're looking south of 10 million. Market cap, $250 million is still pretty high. I like to see under 50 million. So I don't know. As a lead gapper, I was a little hesitant, so that's why it made second place, not first place. But we'll see. Maybe we'll trade this one. This could be a good little support line bounce. I got alert here near 7.77. I don't know. It is going to be the second big green day, so definitely some potential there. It was really heavily traded yesterday, so let's see what happens. I won't go through the whole entire, all of these little ones, because they almost all look like this, where there's just a massive dip off, consolidation, and then a bounce here. And it's quite tempting to think, maybe I should start looking for some of these big dips, but it's really rare. Like yesterday was such a wild day in the market, and you don't see it all the time. So it's really easy to I don't know, get confused or something like that. You don't want to change your trading strategy just because of a wild day yesterday. That's absurd. 315, here's a nice bounce, BCRX. So let me just quickly go to NOVN, and then we'll talk about the other one you guys were talking about. Yeah, you can see VTIQ. It's just not a lot of interesting stuff, all just kind of pullbacks and bounces. Here we go, NOVN. 22 million market cap, 42 million shares outstanding. This one's a little bit more interesting. And the float is about 36 million. Again, a little bit high, 37 million. I don't know. It really was one of the better lead gappers though, which is kind of disappointing. This thing ran up right around here. Let me click, why is it not clicking? 125%, so that is a nice percentage move, and then pull back here 0.6. It is unfortunately sub dollar, and I typically don't like trading sub dollar, so I wasn't really stoked about this one either. They had some first patient in ALML study on Actimab acome. I'm not really totally sure what that is. Treats, So they've had kind of some slow news streaming out about them. Public offering, that's really not too hot usually. So some decent PR about it today. So they do have a catalyst, but it was more of a Friday catalyst. While CALA, go back here, also a US biotech, they have a catalyst that came out yesterday at 6 a.m. So not really, too critical for today, but like we said, KALA was the big. It's going to be the second big green day. So they have statistically significant results for primary and secondary endpoints on third phase clinical trials. So that's really, really good on dry eye disease. And then I was also looking at YTEN. This was actually kind of a nice little pop here to the upside. I don't know if it's going to hold $7. It wasn't really actively traded, but it is 83 million market cap, 1.7 million shares outstanding, between the $2 and $7 price range. That's exactly typically what I'm looking for. So YTEN is kind of interesting as well. Let's see if it gets a lot of volume and interest today. I probably wouldn't mind trading it, especially if we had a little dip towards $6. And let me just quickly go back here to the AYTU. I know you guys are hot about that one. This one kind of slipped through my radar a little bit. BNGO, I could pull that one up on the chart as well. I think there was something that wasn't that interesting on it for me. AYTO, really, really nice pick, guys. This ones are absolutely running 500%. Oh, pre-market. What kind of news is on this one? Let's see the long-term chart. Okay, a little rough here and kind of pulling back. 500% is huge. Ran all the way to 187. So we have clear resistance here at $1. Pretty typical spot for resistance. We have the 180-day moving average, and we broke through that. 125 big support and resistance again right here at what, 1.5, and then 175 came in. So it's kind of those classic quarter areas. I'd probably go ahead and mark $2 and then again maybe 2.5, 2.44. So it's definitely interesting areas. I think if AYTU pulls back to $1, it'd be really hard not to try to buy this one. So that might be a possible entry on AYTU. I might actually even want to watch it out of the gates. AYTU, sorry, I keep saying that one wrong. Got another 3 minutes till the market opens. AYTU has a 25 million float and a 10 million market cap. I'm going to go ahead and mark it here as well. Big first green day on this one. Also US biotech. The amount of US biotechs lately has just been absolutely crazy. They have exclusive US distribution agreement for coronavirus point of care rapid test. Okay, well, that's pretty big news. That came out 8 a.m. this morning. Really heavily traded though this morning. Sometimes when you see a stock that's this heavily traded, they tend to pull back a little bit before they start running. So let's see what happens here. I'll probably be trading this one with a little bit smaller position size. I think instead of $1,500 position sizes, I'm going to try to do potentially 3 $1,000 position sizes, just because the market's still a little bit crazy, and that'll help me reduce some of my risk a little bit. All right, let's see here. I'll go ahead and add SPEX just because it was the lead gapper from yesterday. But it's really not been doing much of anything so far. BNGO, we have that one I think on the list, but it wasn't really too interesting. MRO, what's up for us? A lot of stuff. We got another minute till the market opens. I'm going to be focused, I think, out of the gates on AYTU, actually. Really nice here with MRO. Problem with MRO, it's much bigger of a market cap and shares outstanding than I typically want to be trading, so I probably won't be looking at MRO. Although, I mean, pre-market looks really, really nice, but yeah. Okay, so AYTU, YTEN, NOVN, and KALA, I think are all interesting picks. Let's see what happens when the market opens. Kind of keep an eye out here. Out of the gates, though, I'll be looking for about, I don't know, maybe about 900 position size on AYTO. Just watch out with AYTO. It has this really annoying decimal place. All right, guys. Good luck, everyone. I still have my AIM limit order at about 375, I think it was. Big opening volume here. Can we break above that VWAP? That's the big question. We already had a big pullback to 1, and so far the support held there. AYTU, absolutely ripping. This is definitely going to be the lead gapper on the day, I believe. Just because that 500%, I didn't really notice that one. I think it came on our, I don't know how we missed that. ripping up right away. This thing's up already about 50% from that $1 pullback. It's a good chance that this could just instantly get halted. Super nice amount of shares outstanding. $150 is going to be some interesting resistance here. Let's see what happens. Computer's going a little bit slow here. I think AYTU got halted. Wow, that halt was really, really quick. I'm going to quickly look at NVAX and see what all the other ones are doing. NVAX is just pulling back. That's one we talked about for a quick second. BNGO at 20%, not too bad. NOVN pulling back here, sub dollar. Not really too excited about that part alone. So let's see kind of what happens. 0.67 could be big time support. YTEN absolutely rips first 1 minute candle, but then pulls back pretty aggressively. This is going to be an interesting one. I think if it breaks 6.5, I would like to kind of watch this one, trade this with about 200 shares. AIM pulling back as well, down 22%. That's a huge stop. Markets are all up 3%, 4%. VIX is down 12%, 11.4. TOS just has been so annoying these last few days. When big volume hits, it basically just acts like it's frozen. Every time I switch my chart, it kind of takes a while for it to update. So I have an alert on KALA. 2 alerts. See if we can break from it. Kind of consolidating. Yeah, so I really think AYTU is really the interesting one today. I'm looking at this scanner. This is definitely the lead gapper on the day. Okay, so at 9:36:13, it's going to get unhalted. We basically got another 2.5 minutes. ChemDog, INO was halted. Good point out. Yeah, Heiko, AYTU was halted. Nice, Emmanuel. I just saw that. In at the halt at 146. Woo! That is exciting. You got it like smack right there. Yeah, I think waiting for AYTU, waiting for the pullback is usually a really, really good idea, especially when something gets halted. Typically, when something gets halted, it continues going the direction it got halted in. So this one should keep ripping up, but a lot of times you'll see a quick, 5-6% pullback. It's obviously not an exact science, but lead gapper, breaking out higher, near big time support. It's definitely something you can be a little bit more bullish on. AYTU, NOVN, and BNGO are actually some of the lead gappers on the day. BNGO is kind of holding this $1 area pretty well. All right, guys, AYTU is about to open up. Let's see what happens. Opened up higher here at 156. No pullback. This thing is absolutely ripping. Whew, 2 big volume candles so far. Not liking how TOS is so slow. That really gets me. Five-minute, we had the breakout right about 1.25, 1.26. Could see a nice little pullback to that area. TOS is pretty laggy at the moment. I don't know if you guys are experiencing that as well, but I'd be very careful with auto send. Again, this is one of those days I like to be extra cautious just because TOS is being extremely unresponsive right now for me. Big buyers there at 140. Let's see if they get chipped away here. AYTU, I think, was just halted on the way down. Yeah, man, this is a little hectic to be trading this kind of stuff. Man, pre-coronavirus and pre-oil wars, the markets were just so much more relaxing. Nice move, Sharp. Stock trader, so KALA is pretty good. It definitely was one of the lead gappers, but kind of pulling back a little bit, to be honest. I don't know. I have an alert here at 7.75. Maybe we'll get a support bounce off of it right now. I'm having a little bit of issues, but maybe it just needs a little bit of time to consolidate. Right under $8 is massive, massive support. This is a tough day. NOVN, still one of the lead gappers, bigger dollar volume. Don't really like the sub-dollar part, but if we could break above $1, this thing could absolutely rip. Kind of consolidating here. Doing all right. I think NOVN could be a really, really good play in about 10 minutes from now. As it kind of consolidates, finds its bottom, and then really builds up some momentum here, because if we break $1, it has a really, really big gap down area that it could potentially just run through. It doesn't have major resistance till about 1.9. BNGO support bounce. It's just kind of hovering at the dollar area. Yeah, so this is what I didn't like about BNGO. I didn't like the fact that, if it's had so many failed attempts to break past 1.2 in the past. You can see that here. We have the 180-day moving average above it. This one's just kind of been up and down on just mixed news. I don't know. I haven't really had too much luck trading BNGO, and I think that's why I kind of just pushed it aside a little bit. Not to mention sub dollar again, just like NOVN. Those are not really my favorite things to trade. Looks like BNGO is just kind of pulling back. I know, halted going down. I think NOVN could be a really interesting play here. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert right here, right above this resistance area, 9.36. It's kind of chilly in here. At or above. Seeing if there's anything else on the scanner kind of moving up. We do have YTEN, that's kind of interesting. Other than that, I don't see anything just yet on the scanner that's creeping up. We just filled our AIM position. Let me focus on this one first. So AIM, we entered this one at 375, like I said during the watch list. Big support in this area around $4. Would like to get out of this trade fairly quickly. We're about 10% up on this trade right now. So let's see what happens. That was kind of a fast little crash it had, which makes me a little bit nervous here. TOS is still super, super laggy. Let's see if we can break back above $4. Not really getting that. Just a very, very laggy interface. Officially red on this trade. My order book's just not even updating. Back at 60. $65. I tried to get out, but nothing was really updating. Probably could have been a little bit quicker, but it was really, really tough. 375, still kind of building up some momentum here. Big support at 375. Let's see if we can break above 4. That's what I've been waiting for. $4 has some decent amount of sellers on it. Don't want it to hang out around $4 too long. This lag is absolutely not acceptable. I can't even scroll right here to place an order. I have no idea what's going on. This is absolutely a nightmare. I'm going to try to get out of this trade. Trying to get out at 411. I think this could easily keep bouncing. I just don't really like anything about what's going on right now with TOS. 403. 404 latest price, back below $4. I'm having a really tough time. This is like driving and there's only ice on the road. Nothing is updating right now. This is really, really stressful. I can't even move my limit order. Here we go, I got it again. I'm gonna try to get out at 92. All right, looks like we're out of this position. That was the most stressful trade I have done in a while. It was a profitable trade. We were up 10% on it at one point. This thing could easily rip back to 4.5. My ThinkorSwim is just absolutely not working right now, and I don't want to be in a stock that, let's say, gets halted on the way down or breaks 3.5 and then absolutely gets destroyed. I don't want to be part of that. That's why I got out. I kind of forced this exit. It's a little stressful. I could have easily got out at 411 or something like that. I just couldn't move the order book. It was totally frozen. That's why I've been a little bit annoyed these last few days trading with TOS and having these big market conditions. It's been a little stressful. So there we go. Yeah, okay, so we would have got out where I wanted at 413. That's whatever. Okay, well, first green trade, not too bad. Little 4% profit on this one. Sold way too early. Wanted to get out on this bounce, but I just couldn't place my limit order. And then we kind of missed this move right now that's taking place. So I don't know, probably missed out on maybe 5-10% upside on this one. It's a stickler. This was really kind of a stickler and nothing's updating. So I'm going to go ahead, close my scanner because I think my computer might also be contributing to this issue. Just one last run through the scanner here. Everything we were trading is still on the top of our scanner. Yeah, Shark, that's typically a good idea, averaging out. I want to start doing that a little bit more, but I just have really small share size at the moment, so I kind of have not been averaging out of my trades. But yeah, this time, you know, selling 100 shares at like $4 would have been the ticket. You're absolutely right. That's a great idea. Let's see what else is moving. You guys are always really stoked about INO. My recap video is talking about why I have not been trading INO. It's not in the price category I want. It doesn't move like a lot of the small caps. Shares outstanding are about 90 million, not something I want to be looking for. So INO just does not fit my trading strategy. And that's why I've been kind of ignoring it. There's been some phenomenal trades on it, and I definitely understand why you guys are trading it. 356 could be a huge bounce area. So this is going to be kind of interesting. Let's see how this one goes. I'll put it back on the watch list. But if you guys are wondering why I don't look at or trade INO, that's why. $7.5 on the daily is tremendous long-term support. So I think we could see a huge bounce here. This is about to get unhalted. AIM is back at 447. We left 50 cents a share on the table. Oh my God. That's tough. That's tough. It's a little stressful. I'm not gonna lie. But that's just how it goes sometimes. Put my hat on. Got my hair tickling my ears, and that's not okay. I got my trading hat. I'm ready to go. Now AIM would have been a more profitable trade. NOVN, Heiko's looking at NOVN, 0.75. Just be careful with the sub dollar. Sometimes they move really sporadically. That's a big reason I don't trade sub dollar. They're not as clean. Pulling back a little bit here. 0.7 should be big time support for INO. Let's see what happens. This is also second green day. This is going to be an interesting stock. Let's see if it could break later today. It might take just a little bit longer. Who knows? It could be like a delayed red to green move. AYTU. Is anyone else having TOS issues? Like I can't even, like no pages are refreshing. I cannot wait till the markets are back to normal. Have their, 1 to 2%, or actually 0.5% green days, 0.5% red days. TOS is working perfectly fine. All right, enough complaining, but that's been insane. Just so much getting halted. AM halted, bid price 0.39, 3.9. Whoo. This should be interesting. I think AIM might even open up and kind of rally a little bit. That's a 20% bounce. That was a pretty nice bounce. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with AIM. A lot of these bounces, though, I want to be in and out very, very quickly. Sometimes, you could make that 50%, but I've been in so many support line bounce trades where, it runs up 5% and then it goes down the rest of the day, and I don't see it come up for days or months or years, and that stock is just gone. So with these support moves, I find that taking my profits quickly has helped in the long run. Yeah, SPEX down 40%. This is why I typically don't hold overnight. A lot of times the lead gappers, they only have 1, maybe 2 big days in them, and then they're done trading. These are small caps. A lot of these companies are shady companies. I mean, the ones we're dealing with right now today are mostly all biotechs, which could be working on great things, but they bleed cash really, really fast. So they come out with a catalyst, maybe sell shares to investors, raise capital, and then the stock price goes back to Neverland. So you want to keep that in mind. We're not investing. We're simply trading momentum, getting in and getting out. SPEX. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, SPEX is a tough one. AYTU is looking a little suspicious, but it is kind of consolidating in this area very, very nicely. And we almost put an order here at 1.27 or something like that. I think it was a 1.23, so I would have missed this bounce, but still, look how it pulled back perfectly to that breakout area. That was a 15% bounce. Really, really nice. I'm a little sketched out with AYTU just because it got halted and just how everything's working in general right now, but let's see. 133, some big support, but I think it just got totally chipped away. Oh yeah, wow. There's so much power in the markets. I think with AYTU, we might see a nice big leg up and break past 187 at one point today. We got to break past 1.5, break past 1.75, we could definitely see $2 getting reached. Let's quickly recap what's going on. Markets are up around 3%, which means they have been pulling up ever since they opened, which is good. Let's see here. What else is going on? It's about 9:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's about that 10 o'clock time where sometimes we have some really, really nice rippers. This is not a time I typically like to trade breakouts. So I'm usually very cautious at around 9:55 to 10:05. And around 10:10 is when you see some bottoms really coming in. And then, we like to look for something that maybe is a red to green move or something that's consolidating like NOVN, and then just starts, ripping higher. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. KALA, guys, dipped under 8 now at 7.77. Man, it is just halt crazy out there. Heiko, don't think this is normal. I swear, it's usually not like this. Jeremy, nice bounce trade. You really good stuff out there. You guys slate that INO trade. Yeah, it's doing much better than I am. We got one small bounce trade with AIM. Could have been 10, 15, 20, even I think 30% profit, but I was kind of shaken out. I saw kind of a lot of potential downside risk, but I should have maybe been a little bit more aggressive because it was the first bounce on a morning panic. Sometimes those bounce really, really nicely. So I probably could have been a little bit more aggressive there. AYTU pulling back here. 125, big support that looks like it's getting chipped away. Wow, just absolutely got chipped away really, really quickly. This might get halted. Who knows? I'm going to keep an eye on it though. Yep, AYTU just got halted. I think I'm going to try to buy AYTU when it gets unhalted. I'm over here holding my balls with NOVN. Chem dog. Yeah, who knows? Maybe, I don't know. You guys are pretty brutally honest. Some interesting stuff you guys always call out. I know somebody SPEX. They called out SPEX that they entered at like 5:53 when it got halted yesterday. It was absolutely crazy. Who said that? Mo Bravo. I don't know if you're in the chat room today, but you had a pretty ballsy call on Monday. NVAX looking interesting. And see, look, NOVN. Here we go, back at 7.6. So it found that support area, and now it's pulling back up. I was really thinking about potentially entering at 0.7, but again, maybe I got to get over my personal fear of trading sub dollars. I mean, it's not really a fear. I try to have these guidelines and stick to them to some degree. But NOVN looks really, really good. I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break. No, just kidding. 1-minute break. I'll be right back. What's up, Tommy? Good to have you in the chat room. Yeah, Buddha, I agree. I think tomorrow or Friday, or by Friday, I think that it'll definitely be recovered. This is a little bit absurd. Usually these big volume days don't last more than 2 consecutive moves. NOVN is still a really interesting pick for a potential red to green move. 302 guys, or 1002, really interesting time for the market to recover, do some really interesting stuff. So we have another 2 possible trades to make today. I got my eye on AYTU. I just got halted on the way down. Echo's got the right attitude. TO Tonics is doing bad today. What's that ticker? TONX or something? $180-day moving average is about a 115, and then we got that really big support around $1. We had this low spike down to 106. AYTU, this is going to be an interesting one when it opens up here. It's going to be opening up in 17 seconds. If I got that right. NOVN pulled back to 7.25. Ooh, this thing is ripping. All right, guys, here we go. Big buyers just popped up there at 11.09. I would love to see this go under $1, but I don't know if we're going to see that. 106 getting chipped away. This could be the reversal right now. 107, 109. I think this is the bounce. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not going to trade this just yet. Got an entry at 0.96, 900 shares. Smaller position size. Let's see if we can average to a full position size. All right, we got a full position size. .98, big sellers, but they're getting chipped away pretty quickly. Buyers on it. See what kind of bounce we can get out of this one. It's going to be some big time resistance at 109. $106, big time resistance kind of building up here. Just sold our position. Nice 100, that's about a 12% trade, not too bad. Pretty solid trade. Probably could have held this one longer, but man, have I been in a lot of trades that go the wrong way very quickly. So I like to take my profits very quickly. Ran up another 8%. So AIM and AYTU, I left about 10% each on the table. Let's see what happens here. Wow, we left 9% on the table on that one, but totally fine. I don't feel like I missed out because I got exactly what I wanted. I typically like to take profits from 5 to 7%, usually around 5%. So the fact that I made 12% on this trade is amazing. Yeah, you could argue that, I left, now at this point, another 12% on the table, but you just don't know. There's so many times where I trade these stocks and I could have took my 5% profit or 6 or 7% profit, and all of a sudden I'm closing out for a 2% loss because that bounces over. AYTU, I could have probably been a little bit more aggressive again just because of the overall atmosphere, lead gapper up over 500% pre-market. I mean, these are numbers you typically don't always see, but still, as Ross Cameron says, basics, and it really works. I mean, I've been trading for many years and it works. YTEN hit my stop loss, man. Second one today. Oh man, sorry Keith. That's always really annoying when that happens. Thanks Ken Dog and Shark. Whew, that was blood pressure boiling. Yeah, Satoshi, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. And I think once I start having a little bit bigger position sizes, I'll probably doing that a bit more. But yeah, I'm definitely not disagreeing with you. You're absolutely right. AYTU just gets halted like an absolute animal. What is going on with AYTU in every direction? This bounce was really impressive. That was about 23-25% bounce. Pretty crazy. Which one, Keith? YTEN. YTEN. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, this is a tricky one, huh? Oh God, I go. All right, good luck out there. Make that trailer sparkling, brand spanking new. Nice work, Paul. Yeah, I mean, you miss out on profits to the upside until you don't, and then you really don't a lot of the time. So with AIM, I'm a little bit more annoyed about that one because that was just so many TOS issues. I didn't know what was going on. But with the one we just had, that was pretty cool. I was totally happy with it. SFET. Whew, man, there's so many tickers today. SFET. Oh yeah, really nice call, Shark. Ripping past here the $2 $2 flat top resistance. That is a key area, $2.2. We even had a really nice breakout pullback. I love to trade those. SFET. SFET is also halted. 3.4 million market cap. I mean, dollar volume. So it's kind of just brewing. 4 million shares market cap. Oh man, I'm all over the place. And 1.4 million shares outstanding. Up 120% on the day. I think, let's see if it has a catalyst news here. Safety group, remote access solution enables business community to face off coronavirus. Okay, so it's kind of like maybe TeamViewer. I don't know. Safe remote access kind of sounds like TeamViewer. That's good to know, Paul. This is an interesting one. So we technically have one more trade we could make today. Why are we on AYTU? My God, guys, the glitchiness that we are dealing with today is really unprecedented. Okay. Oh boy, this stock is just all over the place, pulling down so much. I think it's probably safe to argue that whole dollars are just very significant on this one. I would say $4 and $5 I would be looking for. This thing could really absolutely rip, and it already has. So great stuff here. They build systems to interface with infected patients in their contained rooms. Okay. Oh yeah, well. That seems very important. SFET is going to open at 10:17, so in 2 minutes. Let's see if we can remember that. AYTU, definitely talk about getting out too early. Still looking really nice. 107. Went all the way back to VWAP. That's impressive. You don't tend to see that all the time. Yeah, we left 20% on the table on that one. That's kind of a big amount to leave on the table. I think honestly, AYTU getting an entry again at maybe 103 or something like that could be a really good trade, like a scalp trade, maybe to sell to I don't know, selling that right away, maybe at 107 or something like that for basically 4% profit or something. I don't know. I could see it. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I could see that working out pretty well. Or not. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to rip from here. NOVN broke 0.7. Good work, Heiko, getting out of this trade. This is why you don't hold on to losers. Made a nice little profit. Whew. So much risk on NOVN. So today, I got to apologize because the lead gappers today are super not performing. You guys called out the lead gapper extremely well, AYTU. So nice work. Look at your KA. Right as I say that, Keith, you're like, look at KALA. It's funny. Okay, yeah, bouncing. So this is kind of what we were talking about. Pulling back here, coming back below $8, finding some big support, and then potentially ripping for a green day. 6% move. The problem I have with KALA is the way it's moving. It's just a little bit slow. So a perfect entry and a perfect exit would only give you 7%. That's tough. Meanwhile, AYTU, this thing moved 30%, and we only got a small portion of that, and we were able to walk away with 12%. So you want to always look for moves that have the potential for those 20, 30% moves, and then taking a chunk of that. Scalping is fine too, and I love scalping, but with this small count challenge, since we only have 2 trades a day on average, sometimes 3, we have to be a little bit more picky. Oh, Keith. No, that's not what I want to hear. You're usually slaying the beasts. Red days happen though, and it's good you got your stops in place, because if you don't, God only knows what happens. Yeah, BNGO has been just pulling back so aggressively. I've been so weary about BNGO. We're kind of coming up to some big support though, right here at 0.8. I don't really think it's going to hold. Who knows? Maybe it will. I forgot to look at SFET. It got unhalted on the 17, pulled back for a little bit, and then kept on ripping higher. Ah, man, this is the one I wanted to watch. Big volume on the open. Really, really nice. 20% move so far. Remember we said $4 and $5 on SFET. It's about 10.19. Want to be a little bit more careful right now. SFET pulling back a little bit. 2.5 could be a really good little support zone. Trading with about 400 position size. Oh, I just said 440. Nope. Nope. It says I'm out of here. We had a really nice 5-minute doji candle, but now we're pulling up higher again. Two red candles. Trying to break out now. Past 310. 305, a lot of buyers. This could be another breakout here past 319. We might be seeing it right now. 315, 318, 319, boom. Breakout, 327. Classic breakout move. I didn't have this one in me to trade. Could've, shoulda, woulda, huh? Who knows? Maybe we'll get SFET for the last trade on the day. Let's see what happens here. Can't complain. We already had two really nice ones, so no need to rush anything at this point. AYTU bouncing that $1 area, $1 to $120 area really nicely. Just constantly scalping that area would have been phenomenal. That breakout with SFET was a little shaky, pulling back here to $3. Yeah, 302, having some tough times. This might get halted on the way down. Like, I don't think it's going to get halted. It's being a little bit more cautious in the way it's dipping down, which is a good sign. Is AYTU halted? Probably. That thing's been halted all day, just on and off. Ike is always trying to get me to sell merch. Always. Let me check AYTU very quickly. I don't really want to take my eyes too much off SFET. It doesn't look like it's halted anymore. I'd be very careful with this potential breakout at 1.2. I think a lot of room for potential fake outs in this area. But no, it's not halted right now. But it's been halted so many times today that it'll probably be halted in 5 minutes or something like that. Watch out with SFET. Price is going up, volume is going down. Pullback is probably likely. Wow, it's really trying to break up higher here. Oh man, 3.33. It just made a new high. Whew, that was impressive. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. 335. That was huge. %, really nice move. I wanted to trade this breakout so bad. Somehow I missed it entirely. Good call though, guys. I was not watching SFET whatsoever. Check out AIM, back at 3.85. Whew. That was a heck of a trade. SFET is a little painful because I feel like it's just slipping through our fingers. I've wanted to trade it twice now. It's tough. I also wouldn't really feel comfortable trading this one on a breakout. It has very light volume. It's about 10:30, not ideal breakout times. I don't know. I think being cautious on SFET is probably the way to go. SFET, 66 million free float. Here we go. Free float. Are you sure about that? Shares outstanding are only 1.4 million. The float can't be 66 million. Yeah, super choppy FOMO people on. I kind of feel the same way. It does have a catalyst, nice low float, small market cap, dollar volume is kind of piling up on it. I mean, there's a lot of things going for it for sure. Resistance at $4, 3.5 was a bit of a resistance area as well. It says on Webull. 66 million free float. I don't see that making sense. Gonna check Finviz very quickly, see what it says. Float on Finviz SFET 280,000. That is insane. And it's also a big spread compared to the 66 million that apparently Webull is saying. What? Oh man. SFET looks like it just doesn't really want to stop breaking out. AYTU is kind of just constantly in this, you know, having 1.2 as big resistance. A lot of sellers there at 1.2. But who knows? Stocks like to get people on the wrong side of the trade. This thing could break out, but if it breaks up higher, I probably won't be on board with it. I'm seeing 101, 102, 103 as big time support. Looks like SFET is struggling a little bit now. I'd be careful on getting halted maybe on this one. But it's been trading a little bit slower, so maybe it's not going to get halted on the way down, but still, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. Breaking 3.5 Letterman. That's funny. No. Yeah, it's like almost why I stopped looking at it. It was too painful to watch. It's about 10:30 now, a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be a little bit cautious here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get another trade in. We did 2 trades today. Both were under allocated. Wanted to be a little bit more cautious today. Might be able to still squeeze out one more trade, but let's see what happens in the next 15 minutes. AYTU above 1.2. It's a big move. Oh man, that might crack any moment. NOVN is looking pretty healthy, really starting to build up that momentum. I think it really formed that base just now. Even if this thing retested VWAP, it could be a really, really nice 10-20% move. Trading NOVN could be an interesting play. I wouldn't want to do it here. It's a tough call. Not entirely sure about it. I think it could be a really good bounce. Quick pullback here. Let me go ahead and delete this order. SFET. This is our baby. This is the one we've been waiting for. AYTU is also having issues breaking above that 1.2 area. Didn't really work. SFET doesn't look like it's going to get halted on the way down, so looking kind of healthy here in terms of a possible really nice pullback. I know bouncing off 6.8 several times now, maybe look to go long from boy claws. Yeah, that's probably not a bad move. This is the first pullback. I wouldn't be buying on this dip just yet. $15-minute EMA might act as resistance right now. NOVN back at 7.7. Whew. That sure is kind of tempting to want to trade that one. Whew. Looks like SFET is pulling back again now. Let's see what happens. Always have auto check selected in case. The volume's been fading on SFET for a while now, but somehow it's able to kind of maintain this area pretty well. It's much more controlled and more clean than a lot of the other stocks we've been looking at. This is exactly why, I mean, this one fits our description perfectly. 10 million market cap, 1.7 million shares outstanding. The float is really small. I got to give it that. That's a little unusual. It wasn't gapping up, but between $2 and $7 with a catalyst. And just check out how clean this is. We have a nice flat top here. We have a big breakout here, nice 5-minute breakout, and then a 1-minute pullback after a 5-minute breakout. Back to support at 2.2. This would have been a ripping good breakout trade. This thing rips up over 50% from that area. Quick pullbacks here. $2.6 finally. Bounce is a little weak in this area. Don't think it's bounce time just yet for SFET. Nice trade, Yeah, AYTU was a pretty interesting one, huh? Now clearly back above 1.2, really solid move. So it's quite a big move here. About a 10, 11, 12% dip. If we get something in the similar range, 2.5 could definitely be on the table. Looks like it's going to have a little bounce right now. Wow, big bounce actually. That was an 8% bounce just now. Whew. Man, there were so many tickers moving today. It was quite insane trying to figure out what to trade. But I think we did all right. I mean, there's so many different ways to trade today, so many different opportunities. Most of everything I felt like was a bit more of a pullback territory. SPEX could have been maybe a little bit interesting if we were a bit more aggressive on that one. Not SPEX, AYTU. That is a very, very dangerous question, Damondol. I would first think about what you're trying to do. What are your goals? What are your ideal strategies? Take things very... if you're into day trading, maybe check out the channel a few times. We go live every every morning, trade the market open, starting at 9:15. Watching SFET right now, 2.7, waiting for this area to crack. Been kind of waiting for it for quite some time. If we don't get it soon, I'll probably be wrapping up trading here any moment. AYTU back at 1.3, guys. That really held the 1.2 area very, very well. No, it was a pretty interesting move. That bounce trade we got on it, we could have really let that one ride. WDYM. I'm not sure what WDYM is. Maybe I could check it out in a little bit. Right now, I want to keep watching SFET. SFET finally pulling back here. 2.5 area. 2.56. Let's see if we go in the 40s. Nope, doesn't look like it. We will. Just got an entry at 48. Whoo, pulled all the way back to 43, 42. Let's see what kind of bounce we get out of this one. That was a really aggressive sell-off after 50. I wasn't really expecting that. 41, 42. $2.4, building up some support here in this area. That was quite the rip. Let's see what kind of bounce we get. I want to be kind of quick on this exit. I don't think this pullback is necessarily over just yet. Small position size, really, really small position size. Probably won't be holding this more than 3 candles. Bounce is very weak. You guys know how I feel about the weak bounces. Let's see here if we can have a nice little bounce past the 50s into the 60s. That's my goal. This was a really, really strong sell-off it just had. Still having issues bouncing. Some buyers just came in now. Fairly weak bounce here. I was expecting a little bit more of a move. I said this was going to be a bit more scalpy. I wasn't expecting more than maybe 3 to 5%. We go ahead and cancel my order. Having another pullback now. Back at 23. Big spread on this one. 37 is the price. 41. Risking about 10 cents at the moment. This could be one of the classic moves where we have a potentially okay thesis, but just the wrong timing. It's 10:49. I'll be wrapping up trading pretty soon here. Oh, I was wondering why my order book wasn't updating. It's because my mouse was on it. Here we go. Big support here, 15-minute EMA on the 5-minute. Still watching this one a little bit longer. Bounces are still weak. Never really liked the weak bounces. 244, a lot of sellers. Let's see if they get chipped away. Some nice buying volume coming in now. Let's see if we can break past the high. Not looking to hold this one too much longer. I was kind of wrong on this trade. Big buyers coming in at 51. I went ahead and exited this trade. We made a nice little 4% on it. Was thinking about holding that extra minute, but I don't like the fact that I was kind of wrong about this trade. In theory, the thesis was right. I was looking for a reversal right around these areas, right where we had the initial breakout, or the big breakout. So we had this big breakout at 2.25, and then we had another big breakout at 2.5. My goal was to buy on that breakout. I usually like buying those former breakout areas. This one ran down a little bit further. So we were down on this trade for a little bit. What were we down? We were risking about 10, 20 cents at one point. That was about 5%, 6% loss. That's like really getting close to past my max stop loss. I was a little bit worried there. Luckily we were able to walk away with this trade a little bit green here. This bounce finally took place. Probably sold a little bit too early. Look, it went to 60, 65. That was kind of where I wanted to originally get out. So that wraps up basically today. We had a nice $200 profit day. This is a pretty solid day with our small account. I'm pretty happy. We had three smaller trades, but overall they accumulated really, really nicely. So really good fun on that one. Shark says SFET now on SSR. Ooh. So SSR is short seller restriction. That should be interesting. I think SFET could really bounce. I think everything that we traded today, I kind of wanted to hold a little bit longer, but I didn't. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with overall day today. 3 nice green trades. Doesn't happen all the time. So really, really stoked about that. You can never complain. Doesn't matter if you leave profits on the table. It's all about just, consistently taking profits and cutting the losses quickly. With SFET, that was a bit tricky. We were down for a little bit and I was a little bit on edge, but I knew 225 was big time support. So unless 225 was starting to crack with big volume and getting chipped away heavy, I was probably going to hold through it. But, I ended up closing the position fairly quick because I knew this was kind of a losing trade. And I could easily get back on the wrong side on SFET. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this one. All right, guys, that's everything for me today. It was really good fun trading with you guys. And thanks again for putting AYTU in front of my eyes. My scanner, aftermarket open scanner, probably would have caught it, but who knows? I probably would have came late to the party or something like that, or just not really wanted to trade it or something. I don't know. AYTU is kind of interesting right now, kind of pulling back again. Was not able to break past the VWAP area. I'd be very, very careful trading AYTU. And honestly, I wouldn't mind potentially trading it on a bottom bounce again, maybe around $0.9 or $1. This area key support already kind of came in here before. I don't know if I'm going to do it because I would have to take one of my trades from tomorrow to do it, so I probably won't be doing it, but who knows? In the recap video we'll see what I talk about. So yeah, I think that wraps up the whole stream and everything. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the content. If you're new here, you want to learn more about trading, definitely consider subscribing. I would love to have you join the channel. I'll see you guys in a little bit on the recap video. Good day, Paul. See you tomorrow. That's everything, guys. I'll see you then later. Nice move, Shark. See you guys.